Today we're taking a little trip down memory lane, a very fluffy and colorful memory lane that is. For those of you who have been here for a while and for those who want to get to know me better, you will know that my love for Care Bears runs deep. Like really, really deep. And over the years, that love has definitely manifested itself in my room. So I thought it would be fun to open up the vault and share the evolution of my different Care Bear sanctuaries. The highs, the lows, were there ever lows with Care Bears, and all the cuddly transformations in between. Get ready for a dose of nostalgia and maybe a peek at some bears you've totally forgotten about. Now, where do we begin? Well, I think the best place to start is right at the very beginning. The start of my first Care Bear room and how it all started to take over my room. Don't forget to check the description for any videos on items I've already done. My first Care Bear room was in 2002 when I started this semi-uncontrolled hobby. As you can see, when I started, everything fit on the desk of the loft bed I had, but quickly grew to start on the floor below. We have the cuddle pillows and jumbos in the back and 13-inch bears in the middle with beanies in the front and placed wherever I could fit them. Hanging off the bed are some plush keychains. On the floor, I have a plush chair, 2 more jumbos, some cuddle pairs, a water baby, 13 and 10-inch bears, along with a few pieces of the little village they had out. From there, somewhere in 2003, I moved that stuff from the desk and floor up to the top of a built-in bookshelf and put my cuddle pillows on my bed. As I acquired more bears, I started to clean off shelves and filled them up with bears. Here is the 20th anniversary line and the troll hair style. In 2004, the top of the bookshelf got changed and new stuff was put up there along with a shelf, which had bears called My First Care Bear, along with 20th anniversary beanies. As you see, chains on the ceiling went up, along with 3 more shelves, which had 8-inch and 10-inch 20th anniversary. I also had a few plastic figures on these shelves and put the rest on the top of the door. I also started hanging things on the wall. There is a few gift bags, magnet frames, keychains, and a nightlight. The bears on the chains continued around the room. In this picture, you see Care Bear shoelaces, a clock, a 5-pack of figures, and now stuff in the closet. The next picture shows the bears continuing around the room. Here is where the chain of bears ended, but more stuff on the wall. The last picture of this room shows baby items, shoe things, invitations, and a poster. The next room is when the collection took over the living room, which was around 2004, early 2005. I first started to put my 2-foot jumbos and a few throw pillows, but that got changed, as you can see. In this corner, I have organized so many bears to fit in it that even I'm amazed. But there is a mix of vintage, 20th anniversary, and troll hair. I also filled this bookshelf with a mix of bears and was always emptying and refilling through the years. But this is just the 4 shelves. This is what the whole shelf unit looked like. Then between late 2005 and 6, I changed things around and put different bears on that bookshelf and added a wooden shelf and started putting things on it. However, in 2007, I had to start packing things up and get ready to move by October. It was a crappy year. If you're enjoying the video, why not drop a like and show some love? In November of 2007, in a different place with more room, I got started unpacking. I got the whole upstairs of our side of a duplex, which was 2 bedrooms, a hallway, and a bathroom. Here is a layout for you in case this gets confusing, because it kind of got confusing for me. These photos are between 2007 and 2011. In the first bedroom, this is all I had to start with. I even put some posables from the troll hair style on the door. This room also had a built-in book seating area. So as you can see, I filled that bad boy up. On the top shelf, there are VHSs and DVDs along with 1 or 2 random ceramic figures and my gumball machines and, of course, a grumpy bear hanging in the middle. The middle shelf has my 20th anniversary 10-inch and 8-inch bears along with some rattles from water babies, vintage ceramic figurines, and gum tins. If you want a closer look, I'll put up a card for that video. Again, I will also have these these down in the description. The next shelf down, I had my Celebration collection, which was 13 and 8-inch bears. On the last shelf is mostly 20th anniversary beanies and figures. I also have in the back 4 troll hair bears, which were part of a slumber party collection and a snow party collection. On the seat part, I have 13-inch 20th anniversary and celebration beanies. In 2008, I added a little bookshelf which sits next to the built-in. I moved some stuff from the seating area onto these shelves. Across the room from the built-in, I had a table with a TV on it. This is one side of the table and this is the other side of the table. As you can see in the corner of the photo is this little Care Bear sofa which was holding my water babies. Later, I believe I added a bookshelf between the built-in and the door for this room. Unfortunately, I don't have photos. Next, I'll show you the hallway. There is a hallway which shows a window, top of the stairs, and a doorway which was the room we just went over. This hallway was only about 4 feet long. It goes into this hallway which has this white door, which is one of 2 doors to the other bedroom. The doorway in front where the light is coming from, the short hallway. You can kind of see another door near the end of the photo. That was the bathroom. But for the short hallway, these bears there along with the little poster that says a Care Bear welcome. These bears talked and came with either a DVD or a VHS. Continuing down the hall around the corner, I put 4 of my jumbos here. The rest went down the hallway between the 2 doors of the next bedroom. Now, at some point above the jumbos, I hung up puzzles and a few posters. Across from there, I hung up 2 other posters. At the end of the hallway, I had a mix of things, as you can see. There was also a nice little nook there, which is where my dresser went. Fit perfectly. On top, I had a mix of things from breakable items to 13-inch floppy bears. I even had 2 little notebooks hung on the wall. Next is my bedroom. These photos speak for themselves. I'll tell you where they are in the room, but the room gets crazy with all the moving of things around to add stuff. I'll start by the first door. Pause if you need to catch everything on the shelf. Here I had a bookshelf. So on top I had some Oopsie style bears, vintage bears, and UK 20th anniversary bears. Below that I have mostly vintage cousins. Then the next 2 shelves I had 3 jumbos, vintage bears, and troll hair. Next was more my first Care Bears and a mix of vintage and troll hair. Finally, the bottom shelf I have my Care-a-Lot friends and sewing crafts. Continuing around the room between the 2 windows, I have my merch corner, as I call it. On the walls, I have 5 plushies, a Uno game, and random pins and pencils. I also had a movie poster and wall hooks, and more random bits. Pause again if you need to. In the corner is wrapping paper. On the floor, I had beanie, wallets, watches, cards, and a few other little bits. Next will be between the window and a closet, but at some point, I added chrome shelves, which, as you can see, holds a ton of stuff. Here is the top. The middle, and the bottom. Next to that was another chrome shelf, and as you can see there was a ton of stuff on it also. Now this might have changed over the years, but you can see it holds a lot. Now I don't have pictures, but between the closet and the second bedroom door, I did have Oopsie style bears hanging on that wall. On to the last wall. This is the door, light switch, and area above my bed. You probably noticed my UK banknotes, so here is a closer look. Next to them was more plushies hanging on the wall. Below the bears by the door we started with is a plush chair and troll hair bears. My next room would be in a mobile home from 2011 to April 2014. This is what I started with. Over the few years here, I added small things like attachables and added different shelving things, which you'll see. Anything to get more space. The middle shelf I changed, so here are those photos. Here you see I added the shelving, I also added a smaller cube shelf which held my mugs and glasses. On top, I put my figures and other random things. After that, my next room is at my mom's house, which started in May of 2014, which is kind of still my current Care Bear room. So here's a video of that before I moved for college, which was in 2019. As you can see, I have Care Bears everywhere, from every generation. Now, while in college, I lived in a rental from 2019 to 2022, and this is when Unlock the Magic started being released. This is the only picture I could find. As you can imagine, I had more than one shelf. I had like 9 shelves. But after the rental nightmare, I got my own house, which is what this room looks like. I'm hoping my next place will have my dream space to be able to have everything out, but only time will tell. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane of all the rooms I've had. If you have any questions, drop them below. If you enjoyed the video, I would greatly appreciate a like, and if you want more Care Bear content, then consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.